Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the semi-finale of Anything Goes, and I'm Allison.
And I'm Jack. I hope everyone has enjoyed this season so far, because we just have one episode left.
Yeah, that's right, Jack. So make sure you don't miss our finale episode. I heard it's gonna be our best yet. So Jack, how have you been holding up during this quarantine?
Well, just trying to stay busy, wake up, pour the whiskey and the milk and the cereal, and, I've just been working and making a lot of music.
Yeah, that's good. I know a whole nother crew of people that have been working on their music as well.
Oh yeah? Let's see what kind of funky instrument or music effect the Rosetta Tone has in store for us this week.
Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of the Rosetta Tone, the show where we take the language of audio effects and apply them to different instruments. I'm Grayson, and on this week we're going to be talking about the octave pedal. Now, the octave pedal is a very powerful tool for beefing up a solo instrument by adding an extra layer of sound that is pitched an octave lower. Now, for those of you who don't know, an octave is a set of 8 notes in a scale. So for example, starting at a C scale, you go from C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. 8 notes, 2 of them being C. So what this does is it takes the notes and moves them down an octave, giving that another layer of depth. So to start with, we're going to just do it with our go-to guitar, played by Slater. So here's what it sounds like without the octave pedal. Now here's what the guitar sounds like with the octave pedal switched on. So the octave has to be a digital effect for it to work in real time. If you wanted to do this analog, it would be a very tricky process, and the speed would have to be lowered along with the pitch. The way the effects works is that it slows down the incoming audio, but breaks it up into tiny audio chunks, and then instead of playing all of those chunks, it simply discards every other one. And you don't notice it because it's happening in real time. So let's test this out on a little African instrument called a kalimba. So here's what it sounds like without the octave pedal. Here's what it sounds like with the octave pedal switched on. Thought that sounded pretty cool. It definitely does add that little extra layer underneath, gives it a lot more, fills out the sound and makes it sound a lot more full. So that's all we have for today. Until next time, there's a whole bunch of sounds out there waiting to be discovered, and that can only happen here on the Rosetta Tone. Thanks for watching.
Wow, I can only imagine how demonic your voice would sound going through that. I mean, I'm excited to see what kind of crazy sound they come up with next week.
Wait, are you saying I have a demonic voice?
Yeah, sure, Jack. That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, okay, you're crazy. I wonder what crazy killer they are going to talk about on this week's episode of Murder in the Making.
I mean, what amazes me is how some of the murderers really just got away with it for so long.
Yeah, that's pretty scary if you think about it. Well, let's see how this week's killer did it.
Welcome back to Murder in the Making. This week we are talking about Alexander Pikushkin, better known as the Chessboard Killer. So, this guy had a lot of action, so to speak. He killed more people than Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and Son of Sam combined.
So, Alexander began his life as a social, normal child, just like any happy-go-lucky kid, until one day of fate. He was swinging on a swing set, he fell over, and as he was getting back up, it nailed him right in the forehead, it caused some damage to his head, basically changing his personality entirely, turning him from a happy kid to an aggressive and just hostile person. He would lash out at random intervals, and the kids at school would always pick on him more and more because of this, adding to his rage and his hostility. The only person who ever really saw anything within him was his grandfather. He saw that the boy was intelligent and he wanted to take him in, so his mother agreed to let him live with his grandfather. There, he taught him chess, and that was actually probably one of the best things about his life, because it was a nice channel in order to get his rage and all his hostile emotions out. He was really good at it. He would always beat the men in the park that his grandfather taught him with, and it was just something for him to release anything, because the kids at school still picked on him for his disabilities.
Now, the reason he has his name, the Chessboard Killer, is he actually had a chessboard where on each of the little pieces he would write down the dates of when he killed people. And he even told police after they caught him, if they hadn't caught him, he would have continued killing indefinitely.
He wanted to feel above others. He wanted to feel superior. He used to do a ritual where whenever he would know he would be around children, he would bring a camera with him and basically just go up in their face, record them, and basically threaten them to how he could kill them right there and then. One time, even dangling a kid out from the window, basically saying he held his life in his hands and he would take pleasure from that. And he would watch those videos over and over and over just to make himself feel like he was in charge, like he had power.
We're going to focus on Maria Verakeva. Maria's boyfriend is actually a friend of Alexander's. So she kind of knew Alexander through her boyfriend. At one point, her boyfriend and her, and keep in mind this is in February of 2002, Maria is 19 and she's 3 months pregnant. So she has a fight with her boyfriend, and she just needs someone to talk to, so she starts talking to Alexander, and he leads her off into the woods. They're just kind of walking and chatting. So he leads Maria off, and then they stumble upon a well. He then tries to throw her down. She clings to the side, and he grabs her head and hits her against the side of it, and she knows that he won't stop, so she just lets herself fall. And after she's pushed over the edge, he screams, "Why not take a bath while you're down there?" and walks away.
He wanted more. He wanted to keep on killing, so he tended to target elderly men in the park. Some of them he even knew beforehand because he played them in chess. He used to lure them with free drinks and ask them to accompany him to the grave of his dead dog.
This is kind of his MO. He would take people and lead them into the woods. He said later in his statement to the police, he said that typically he would lure men with alcohol, and women he would lure with some kind of monetary thing. Whenever he was convicted later in 2006, he was found guilty on 49 counts of murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. And he told the judge and the jury, better make it 60. Now, whenever he is eventually caught and they convict him, they convict him with life in prison in the first 15 years in solitary confinement. I don't know about you, but if I'm in a room alone for more than 10 minutes, I start to go a little stir crazy. He went as far as to say that life without killing is like a life without food.
Wow. I mean, that was pretty creepy, Jack, don't you think?
Yeah, that one gave me the chills.
You know what else gave me the chills?
What's that, Allison?
When those psychos over at Anything Goes, does something crazy or shocks themselves. I wonder what kind of challenge or game they have in store this week at Anything Goes Live.
I'm sure it's just as wild as usual. Let's take a look.
Welcome back, you guys. This, of course, is Anything Goes Live, as the title screen just showed you, but something else you might have noticed, I'm not listed as a host, and we don't have any contestants listed. There's a reason for that. So Anything Goes will be ending soon, so we're all gearing up for the final episode. So while we're doing that, we actually wanted to kind of give you a little break, a little relaxation instead of a competition. So all we're going to do this week is I actually kind of step back. I decided to let the cast and crew of Anything Goes Live that might not have had as much screen time kind of shine a little bit. So I believe they're doing something like TikToks and Vines that they kind of wanted to recreate. I will say that any music that might be included in those, we of course can't use. So we will try and find something that matches closely. So bear with us and enjoy.
Hey man, what? Boy. You know, when somebody got two films pointing back at you. Boy. Oh my god, it's amazing. I'm gonna get it done today! Tomorrow. Story time. He wanted to record other people's lives, but there was nobody around, and then he felt sad. Alright then, let's get something to... You know I can see you, right? No, you can't.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Man, now that's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I want to try that with my friends.
Friends?
Well, our time here today is almost up, but before we go, let's take a look at what town my city has explored this week.
Last week on My City, the guys checked out Pulaski, Wisconsin. This week, we head back up north and visit Coleman.
Join us on an adventure as we take you through a tour of the cities of Northeast Wisconsin in My City.
Hey, it's Allison, down here on Main Street in Coleman. It's your stereotypical Main Street in Northeast Wisconsin. We got your car dealership, we got your carpentry place, and of course we got your small town bars. During this time of year, Coleman usually begins bustling with tourists and campers from all over. But what Coleman is most known for is its hometown school that breeds talented athletes. The Coleman wrestling team have appeared in state tournaments 14 times since the WIAA moved state wrestling tournaments to the UW-Madison Fieldhouse in 1949, taking home 11 state championships over the years and many more wins in the finals. Two students this 2020 season followed in the athletes' footsteps before them, bringing home 2 state titles. The community of Coleman and Pound donated money to build a beautiful Veterans Memorial Park right next to the Little Peshtigo River to honor the locals in the area who have served. And that's all the time we have for today. Tune in next week where we meet back up with the gang for our final episode of My City.
Small town vibes, man. I love it.
Yeah, me too, Jack. I can still smell the manure in the air.
Well, that concludes today's episode of Anything Goes.
Make sure to tune in to the finale episode of Anything Goes next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. You will not want to miss it.
And of course, always remember, anything goes. And of course, always remember, anything goes.
Anything goes.
And of course, always remember,
Anything goes.